us using the money he's taking as tax to let people know that it's working. And in fact, when you go around, you know it's working. If you see the Ojota Bridge now and Baga Bridge, all of that, and here in Uduluwu, he has gone around all the states, and we have benefited 2 streets here, the Ayetoro and Alaji Awoyejo Street, which we are now using walkways, street lights, all these things. This is what the man wants to use the money for. You see, the downtrend in health, he is working on it to see that health is improved, especially recently. Now we are going on measles vaccination for children between the ages of 9 months to 5 years. It's money. So and if people do not pay, how does the man, do what he wants to do?
As criticisms continue to trail the revised land use charge law, the Lagos State Governor, Akinwumi Ambode, has come out to say his government is ready for dialogue to resolve the issue. It remains to be seen how this whole story will turn out. Well, that is the views on the street. Lagos residents are kicking against the increment on the land use charge. Now, interestingly, the Nigeria Bar Association, NBA, has also given the Lagos State government 1-week ultimatum, which is 7 days, for him to also reverse the increment. And now I have a guest in the house to discuss this issue. With me, I have the chairman, Ikeja MBA, in the house. I'm talking about Adesina Ogunlanu.
Good afternoon, viewers.
You're welcome on the programs.
Thank you so much.
All right, you've heard what people on the streets are saying about the increment on the Lagos land use charge. And your association has also given the Lagos State government a 1-week ultimatum to reverse it. Can you tell us the rationale behind why you're also kicking against this land use charge?
Thank you so much. The rationale is not only limited to what fellow Lagosians have just explained. They were looking at wholly the economic implications of the application of that law. But as an association, we want to look at it first of all from whether it conforms with the tenets of democracy, and whether it is legal, and whether it is realistic vis-a-vis the circumstances of the people which this tax regime seeks to govern. And it's important for us to understand from the point of democracy. You could see the governor, from what I had said, that is open to dialogue.
Exactly. Said that last week, Tuesday.
That's quite wrong. He's seeking dialogue after legislation. He's seeking consultation after legislation. He's trying to, he has actually done what we call a fait accompli in law on the people who are his employers. We as lawyers, and my association, Nigerian Bar Association, our mantra is promoting the rule of law. When you promote the rule of law, you cannot do that outside of democracy.
Exactly.
And so you need to promote democracy. The people matters always in democracy. In fact, democracy is always about people. It's all about people. The definition. Yes. The very simple definition is all about people. Sovereignty belongs to people, not even to the parliament.
Exactly.
And democracy itself is a negation of absolutism in government.
Right.
It's a negation of the idea of a fused tyrannical government. The government is servant of the people. Now you want to do this kind of a thing that's quite sweeping, quite encompassing, and all that, and you've not consulted well with people in your own wisdom or unwisdom. You have created a monster law, which my association, my branch calls suicide regime of taxes.
Honestly.
And it tells you that our servants, I wonder why they call them their excellency. the excellency are the people. Have the people. The president of the country is a servant of the people. The vice president, all other servants of people put in offices are the servants of the people. Here, what we do in Africa, in Nigeria in particular, is for the servants to think themselves as a royalty. They won't say executive governor. Govern,
excellency.
Yes, excellency and all those kind of things. It's wrong. The government that understands democracy will want to seek not information to the people, but the approval, feedback. And it's what the people want. That what the people want, that you try to understand. But when you now ascribe the omniscience of wisdom, monopoly of wisdom to yourself, and you arrogate to yourself Solomonic insight into how the affairs of the people who elect you, unlike monarchy, when you're the theocracy, when you say you have the divine right of kings, of monarchy, where you say that we have occupied this place first and all this kind of a thing, is the people. And democracy is about,
people,
liberty, equality. Equality and liberty. That's why you have the majority vote and the poll and everything. And here's a governor now. You see, it's gone this way. Everybody except one old man has gone this way. It's out of sync with the expectation of people because there was no consultation. That is important. For us as a professional body who understand the value of the continuation of this form of government in this country, we fought this gentleman, his administration, complete zero on this line. There is this arrogance. We are open to that. You've made a law. Do you make law for goats? You make law for human beings. You was once not a governor, and after sometimes never going to be a governor again. How will you like it that is not concerned? That is a very primary key for us. Yes.
Is there any legal action to be taken if a governor goes ahead to take such a decision without consultation?
Yes. When you say legal rights of the citizen who own the government are quite wide.
All right.
There could be a class action. They could go through their parliament to impeach that governor, acting above their head. But in Nigeria and Africa generally, what you have is rubber stamp parliaments who just follow the executive sheepishly, just like that, and ratify all sorts of manners of things that are brought before them. And part of the rights of the people is the right to say no.
Now, members of the House of Assembly, they are there to represent the people. And they're lawmakers.
Yes.
So does it mean that they don't really see anything wrong with this kind of law?
Exactly. If they see it, they will not approve of it now. But it's so clear now, are they actually living the life of the people? It's like the person who has sight, the sighted, pretending, purporting that he understands how the blind feel. You really can't feel that. You close your eye. Anybody watching, you can just close your eye and try to walk 5 steps to see how you feel. But that is the permanent situation of the person that is out of sight, that's not sighted, blind. Now, you find these people, the class of our political leaders, they are our eaters. The Yoruba people call them ojelu. They are fat cats. Their salaries they earn. The perks of office they create for themselves is such that they cannot understand. It's just like when you are in the school and they say, see that former governor, Mr. Fashola, he said, last school fees from 250 naira to 50,000 to 50,000 naira. From 250 naira to 50,000 naira. If your parents or your guardians were part of fat cats who've made their money dubiously, even if you call it $1 million naira, you pay it. And the gentleman was telling us that he wanted to make Lasso a world-class university through school fees, 250 naira to 50,000. And look at this I've read, land use charge and everything. I've listened to many of the apologists of government, and you could only laugh. They were vague. They are making generalization and all that. But they don't give one funny excuse that those people are complaining about the huge amounts. People that who have suffered in arrears, they have not paid another time for 15 years. In fact, that government is saying I'm not responsible. For 15 years, somebody has been accumulating arrears. And it's a lie. We have live examples of people who are ordinarily pay under 150,000, 120,000. They are now being billed millions, 2 millions and all that. How many 150,000 can you get from 2 millions? So they are not being truthful and they are out of sync. I'm yet to go to the economic reality, but that's my response now.
All right, based on what you have said, I say it is he who wears the shoes that knows where it pinches.
Yes.
Now we know that it is the tenants that we have to suffer for all of these increments if eventually it holds. Now, this decision of the undemocratic decision, from your explanation,
yes,
this undemocratic decision of the Lagos State government, how do you think, or wouldn't you think that this is going to affect his next chance of contesting as the governor of the state?
Thank you so much. He may even be forced to resign.
Forced to resign?
Yes, because if there are responses, it's only because we are not muscular in this country. Our servants take us as their own slaves, and they regard themselves as our masters, and they take us for granted. So they can afford to be careless, to be supercilious, and to be arrogant and conceited. And in the case of Increment, I think the praises of people gone to his head and the head of his advisor. He's doing wonderfully well. He's doing wonderfully. This is less than 2 years to election, and you are doing this to people. That means, oh, what are they going to do? But people are no longer foolish. People are no longer complacent, and people cannot afford to be complacent. So it's not even a matter of whether it's going to come back. If it doesn't reverse, if he plays the Pharaoh, you know you can play the Pharaoh. You know the story of the Bible, the story of Pharaoh in the Bible. Yes, people could go. Yes, until a whole lot of hardship came when he eventually allowed them to go. Even then, he pursued them. If you don't have a listening, although we are told there was a caveat that God had in his heart, but in this particular case, a leader in a democratic system
of government
plays the Pharaoh. What the people will react.
If he plays the Pharaoh, like you said, and you said that there are no fools any longer,
yes.
How do Lagos residents begin to make the government do their own wish in this sense?
Exactly. First of all, is to recover their consciousness that these commissioners, these governors, these speakers, these special advisors,
they are there for their self-interest.
They are my servants. They are our servants.
Okay.
That they are our servants, and the servant cannot be greater than the master. When you have that consciousness that power belongs to the people, this is a democracy. And by the way, I think they came to power with just 150,000 votes majority, very slight majority. So when people continue to agitate and continue, we are not saying they should, and you know, these people come out and say that when people protest, when people say no, there's going to be breakdown of law and order. It's not. Lagosians are not barbarians. When they continue to express their outrage, that is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. We cannot make you our servants, and you now
making life unbearable.
Unbearable for us. And like that gentleman said, he was saying that if you are paying 10,000 naira before, it now become 50,000. Are you now saying I'm paying 18,000 naira for their own workers, 18,000 minimum wage? I'm not going to start to begin to pay 90,000 naira. They didn't do that. So it's Lagosians who need to get their consciousness back to themselves. And that is where we are slavish. That's the problem. That's the real problem. As a professional association, that's what we want to tackle. Awaken the sociological consciousness of our people. These people are your servants. And the same thing we try to do against the military, against the police. That their belt, that their uniform, that their boots, that their guns, which they used to do shakara, are bought by not by government, but the people's taxes, people's money, and that you are supposed to be the servants of that people. The governor of Lagos State is the servant
of the people, and he must do the wish of the people.
It's not an excellency.
All right. Thank you, Barrister. We'll come back to you with some Questions. Well, you've been hearing the Keja chairman, MB Branch, speaking there. Well, right about this time, I will open the phone lines, but before I do that, I want us to hear from a landlady in Lagos State what she has to say about this oil increment. I would like to get your reactions on the latest developments, which is that the Lagos State government has increased the land use charge. What do you make out of this increment?
It makes one very uncomfortable and makes life uncomfortable because Lagos State government themselves have not provided amenities that will make people say, okay, I can pay this money, I am getting a benefit out of it. To some areas, they have concentrated in Ikoyi, in Lekki, whatever. In the suburbs, they have abandoned us. All they wanted just is for us to pay the money and they collect it and go and do whatever they want to do. So they might not see us paying this money because we have not benefited anything from the Lagos State government on our side. Yes, it's under Lagos State, it's under community, it's under this, it's under that, but it must be showing effectiveness. Even just the lawman's issue, the new wipe and keep Lagos clean have not come to our site. For the past 1 month, no debt has been removed, and you are now saying we should pay more money for Land Use Act when we are not getting any benefit. This one is not road now. This one is just service, and you are paying for that service. It's not provided. So why are we paying for what we are not getting any service for?
All right, are you aware that the reason which the Lagos State government is given for the increment of the land use charge is to be able to provide more infrastructures for Lagos residents?
Let's first of all see what you are doing. Then we can now talk about the rest things. When you concentrate on people living in Ikoyi and Lekki and abandon people living in Agege and Alagbado, it cannot work.
It cannot work.
It cannot work.
All right, thank you very much. Well, I've been speaking to one of the landlords in Lagos State, and you've heard what she feels about the increment on the land use charge. It remains to be seen whether landlords will oblige to this increment. Only time will tell. All right, that is the view of a landlady in Lagos State there. Back to the barrister now. What do you make out of what that woman is saying there?
She's talking quite a lot of sense, and that you are concentrating on the rich and all that. You abandon us. You expect us to be tightening our belt, and give to you and give to you. What are you giving back to us? What is the government giving back to us? And that is the problem. And one of the people there highlighted this issue. Rentage or land use charges pertains to property almost has the same effect when you increase the price of petrol. It has a spillover bandwagon effect, because if you now assess me out of this world, I will pass it to whoever I could pass it to, my tenants, and from the tenants, they themselves have their own jobs they are doing or something. They will now try to pass it to the next person. If they are civil servants, they will try to be still from the side. If there are people in private employ or some other businesses and services,
also,
they will, yes, to make sure. And so the whole environment becomes hyper-inflated.
All right. Now, you're talking about the effect of this kind of decision on commerce.
Yes.
I'm about asking you that question. But before then, I'll open the phone lines now. There is need for us to hear from the people at home. Of course, this is what makes this program very, very interesting, because you at home also have that benefit to contribute your own views. So I think I have a caller. Hello? Hello? Okay, Barrister, let's continue. I think most likely I lost that call.
Yes.
What is the likely consequence of this increment on land use charge on commerce in Lagos State?
Certainly, it will create hyperinflation. As last week, or this week, the Lagos Chambers of Commerce has complained. They are not in support. the Manufacturer
Association of Nigeria, man, is also complaining.
I'm aware of different
associations.
These people, landlord association, resident, people are complaining.
Yes.
Because it's clear mathematics.
Honest.
It's clear mathematics. You are not generating funds for the opportunity for the people. You are taking from them. It's callous, it's insensitive. I understand the gentleman wants to create a mega city, he wants to create a smart city, he wants to create a paradise. For who? For who? It's for the people. When inflation comes, there will be security concern. Because people must, survivor.
Okay, sorry,
Yes.
I have to cut you short.
All
Let
right.
me, I think I have a call. Hello? Shegun from Shomolu, can we have your contribution? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, Shegun, right on. You're welcome.
Hello?
Hello, Shegun, you are welcome. You're in the studio now. Let's hear you.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me? Shegun from Shomolu. Good evening.
I so much admire this program.
Right?
I will see the gentleman and India and the lady. So please, if there is any way people can be able to come and arm for them to withdraw the issue of the tax. There is a big suffering in the country. People are suffering. The suffering is so much. That's the contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shegun from Shomolu. I don't know if you get what Shegun is
Yes.
saying there. He's also lending his voice to
Voice.
say that the pressure, I think he was suffering something is too much on the people, and the Lagos State government should do something. I mean, he's also calling for reversal.
Yes, reversal, and asking my association
To also
urge it
urge him to
do so. I will also urge that caller to join my association.
Stand up for his rights.
To stand up for his rights.
Okay.
Join hands with truly progressive people to ensure that
this does not stand.
That the government becomes sensitive
To the plight of the
people.
Exactly.
You understand? As he was talking, just came to my mind. I saw one of the notices of Lagos State government, and it's funny to me that if I want to dig a borehole, I will have to pay 68,000 or 65,000, and I couldn't even help smiling. I just said, first of all, if you are doing your job as government, will I need to provide water for myself?
We provide water for ourselves.
It's bad enough that I have to begin to think of sinking a borehole, and you now want to take advantage of that and put a tax
on me.
That is callous, that is wicked, that is irresponsible of government. It's extortionate.
All right, I think I have another caller. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Okay. That is.
I don't understand this in Nigeria.
Oleju? Okay.
Isaiah, everybody. People know their money, say we already crying for the increment of house rent. In what aspect now they exit an agreement? Because of that exit an agreement, many people cannot even relocate. Now they are talking of landlord paying what are they even paying? Paying land discharge. The government did not even reason that will make them to even increase this money again. Another thing, how much are we even collecting? The common is that we can even get out industry, companies, organizations, how much they are collecting. Can the government increase this land discharge or whatever they call it? It is going to affect everybody. And they are talking of people prosecuting, people stealing. Why don't people do all this? The other time, somebody was eating almost dead in the market. It was stealing an injury, a woman. A Yoruba woman, and she was saying her head was hungry. Now, if you tell them that people are dying of hunger, they will
Thank you very much.
If they are taking any decision, they should consider the poor masses.
Exactly.
They should be poor for crying out loud. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I guess that's Oledu from Moshi. Thank you very much for your contribution, Yohaira. She's also saying that a government needs to consider the people before making such a decision, since they are in government for the people. All right, I want to take somebody outside Lagos State. Let's also hear his views about this action of the Lagos State government. Take a listen. Still talking about land use charge and the fact that residents of Lagos have continued to frown at the government, especially considering the economic situation of the country. They have said there is need for a reversal. And of course, the Nigeria Bar Association has also given the Lagos State government 7 days ultimatum to reverse this new land use charge increment. I will be talking to another legal practitioner outside of Lagos State to also get his own views about this increment.
Thank you very much. I think I go with the Nigerian Bar Association that it should be reversed, because this is the problem we have. When government are insensitive to the plight of the people, if you're leading the people, if you're a governor or you're a president and you're in power, before you push out charges on people, you need to consider the economic situation in the country or in your state.
Well, that is the executive assistant on Delta State governor. I think that should continue. It was a very long interview. Can we have that?
Now, since the Buhari administration of the APC came into power, as you know, we've been having economic recession in the country. People have been jobless, and poverty everywhere. The fuel was increased from 97 to 145 per liter. All of these are problems. The dollar rate also increased from maybe 155 to 355. That is much. That is also telling on the economy. And then you leave that problem, then you go to increase your land use charge to something close to 500,000. And for a landlord, for instance, who is a retiree, who is just living on this, their what you call a retirement stipend at the end of the month.
Exactly.
Some is maybe 35,000 naira, some 10,000, some 6,000, and he managed to build a small house, and you expect that person to pay you 400,000. So what you are asking for is high blood pressure, hypertension, untimely death for such people, and that is not fair. I'm so sorry to say this. I like Ambode for one thing. His infrastructural development in Lagos State is quite huge. It's really working. But you cannot, because you are working, cut the throat of the people that you're working for. So people have to be alive to enjoy those facilities that you want to provide. Because if they die, you will have nobody to enjoy the facility. So for me, I think that is not good. For Governor Ambode.
Which would be right for me to say that.
And it's not also good for his party. Because this is a party that promised change from bad to good. From high fuel price rate to lower rates. From higher dollar to lower dollar. From high inflation to a very minimal inflation. But what we see today is an astronomical increase of all of this that I've mentioned.
Exactly.
So where is the change? That's what Nigerians are now asking. Where is the change?
So it would be right for me also that you're also part of the people condemning the Lagos State government.
Of course. Of course.
Give me one basic reason why do you think that the Lagos State government should not come up with increment at the moment?
There's poverty. There is poverty in the land. There's no job anywhere. And at the same time, businesses are not flourishing. Okay? Because when the economy is down, there is business. You see banks retrenched workers. You know, a lot of banks now have few staff to work. And some even reduce the salaries of their staff. And then the jobs are not just there. So when there is no money circulating in the economy and there are no jobs and you are increasing land use act, what are you saying? The landlord definitely will have to increase their rents. And these same jobless people who are managing to pay their rent are going to have, an astronomical increase that they are going to be catering for. For example, if you live in a room apartment and you were paying something like, say, 25,000 or 30,000 in a month, you are not going to be paying like 100,000.
Well, let's now look at it now.
So, because definitely the landlord will transfer that.
Thank you.
That increment to the tenants.
Tenants, because I'm about. Well, that is the executive assistant to the Delta State government on communications. You've also heard somebody outside of the state. You heard his analysis, and this brings me to the question to my guest in the studio. Sir, you have told the Lagos State government, you've given the Lagos State government 7-day ultimatum. Now, if it doesn't reverse this in 7 days, which will end on Tuesday, right? Which will last on Monday, what would be your next line of action? Protest.
That's okay. That's not the last line of action. We want to walk the talk.
Walk the talk.
We want to walk the talk. I started with the need to promote the understanding and practice of democracy. Many of our so-called leaders and the people of Nigeria don't understand democracy. Democracy is about respecting the people
that have voted you in.
The people
who stood under the rain, sun.
Except a governor is saying that I stole or shot my way into power. If you didn't steal your way into power, if you didn't shoot your way into power, you must respect us. And instead of you saying you will kill us and let the man die in us, we'll be on the street, we'll protest.
Sorry, Barrister, I need to take this call. This is Ben calling from Bagada. Hello, Ben. Hello, Ben. Okay, let's hear you, Ben, from Bagada. Let's hear your contribution. What future? All right, thank you, Ben. That is all that I can take from you because of time. All right, for the benefit of those who don't really understand what this land use chart is saying. Now, let me tell you. If you are a landlord and you're the only one living in your house, according to the Lagos State government, you're living in a house with your family, your annual fee is a value of the house multiplied by 0.076, which means if your house is valued at 20 million, your fee is 0.076% of 20 million naira, which is, if your house is valued at 20 million naira, you would have to pay 15,200 per annum. Now, if you rented out the house to tenants only and you don't live there, the house is worth 20 million naira, you will pay 152,000 naira per annum. So Barrister.
That's madness.
Madness.
That's just madness. And in fact, how can people just take people for granted for this? That if, first of all, look at it. Say, and it's good that they are saying 20 million. You can even see the elitists thinking. The man did not say if it's 8 million, if it is 5 million, if it is 10 million. He said it's 20 million. First of all, it will open a Pandora box of deep corruption. Who is making the assessment? Lagos State officials. Then you can be very sure that the gentleman said this same house that worth 20 million, according to your assessment. Let me finish this point, please. And you now say if I now put tenants there, whether it's 2 tenants or 3 tenants, whether it is, we don't know how much the tenants are paying. I'm now going to pay 150. Does it make sense? Look, Nigerians, Lagosians must teach this government sense that you cannot take people for granted like this. It's not a matter of complaining in your house and grumbling.
Coming out.
You come
stand
out.
Against such decision.
It's going to be peaceful. It's going to be peaceful. Right. We are going to tell this government that we own you. You don't own us. No. This is the democracy. Look at the example you've given. 50,000. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Honestly, ridiculous. So now, election is just by the corner, 2019.
Yes.
Do you really think that the government that has promised the people so many beautiful things that eventually now everything we're seeing negates all that they have promised? Do you think Lagos residents should still go out and vote for this very, in
law we say res ipsa loquitur. The thing speaks for itself, or the fact speaks for itself. I was one of those people who campaigned under the platform of Lawyers for Change, for APs in Lagos State, for APs at national level, because we want our change, like that gentleman said, from bad to good. We want from bad to good.
But unfortunately,
what we are seeing is getting worse, and it only shows that, like I said, the government is taken us for granted, and a government that takes you for granted in a democracy should not be allowed to continue, because it's a democracy. If we love you before, if we say, oh, we love you, like this person, we like this person, and that person now begins to act like Draco, like Pharaoh, why should you vote for a Pharaoh? Why shouldn't more well-meaning Nigerians come out and take offices, so that people who take other people for granted
can be voted out?
You want to turn Lagos for not a land of opportunity, but for opportunity for those who are rich.
Elites. Only. Not even just elites.
Even thieving elite. If you're honest, stealing or looting elite. If you're honest, hard-working person, you can't live in the under this type of
government
of Pharaonic Lagos.
All right, sir. Quickly. Yes. Sorry, I have to cut you short. You said something. You said, with this kind of decision made by the Lagos State government, that there are rooms to impeach the government if he is not, or the governor, if he is not listening to the people. What are the processes to impeach?
It's a very simple thing. You see, first of all, even before you go into the issue of impeachment, you know, democracy is rules and procedures and all that. I will not even go to an academic exercise. This Parliament of Lagos, an armed body, they are in gloves in hands, they are in cahoots. They will not even begin to begin to consider it. It is we, the people, the owner of them. Don't forget the big titles they give themselves. We are the owner. That is the consciousness we want to awaken in Lagosians and Nigerians. When we breathe hard on them, my brother, my sister, they will run. They will pick race.
I remember years back during Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's regime, when he increased the price of fuel.
Yes.
We occupied Nigeria.
Of course.
You know, and he did really, you know, go against what the people are saying.
Yes.
So right now, do you really think Lagos residents can be confident enough to occupy the state to demand that the governor should reverse this increment?
The governor of Lagos and his government wittingly or unwittingly, has called Lagos State people fools. If they are fools, they will accept Pharaoh. If they are not fools, they will reject Pharaoh. As for me and my family and my branch of the NBA, we are not fools. We will challenge them legally, legitimately, robustly, democratically, and we shall overcome. That thing will not stand. The whole populace of Lagos, 99%, they are against this thing, and we should not be docile. They should stand up for their right. Stand up for their right.
All right, thank you very much, sir. I have been speaking with the NBA chairman in Ikeja branch and talking about additional Ogunlana. Well, many thanks, sir, for obliging us.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much.
All right, you have heard from the barrister. He has said he is not a fool. I am not a fool either, and I believe that our viewers at home and Lagos residents in entirety are not also fools. So we have to stand up for our right and demand that the governor of Lagos State or the government of Lagos State under the leadership of Akinwumi Ambode should reverse this very increment on land use charge. And that will be it on SuperEye this edition. Many thanks for watching. As always, I am Adenike Oweya Jiboye. Remember to join us for another edition, same time on your same station. Bye for now.
Thank you.
This is Oshodi, one of the areas in Lagos State